Hello YouTube, LJ Draco here. Um, yeah, I wasn't feeling too well earlier and I felt bad because Omar Little was doing like a mini stream and he was really like looking forward to talking to me over the camera. And I just didn't really feel too good. I actually don't feel really good now, and I'm sorry if these are a distraction. No idea where they came from, but they just popped up. Probably didn't notice until I mentioned it, huh? Nah, that's gonna be annoying. Anyway, this is a video that I know people waited quite a while for. This is my review of my thoughts on Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. I'm not going to get into the story, as you guys know. I'm just going to get into certain points. Of the movie that you guys already know. Just my thoughts. So, out of the first three movies, so out of Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom, and Last Crusade, this by far is my favourite out of the three. Now, I don't know if you're going to agree with me on that, but I loved like the River Phoenix kind of young Indiana, how he got his scar, the fact that even from a child his persistence growing up trying to find that cross. I love the chemistry between his father and him, constantly calling him Junior, being annoying, winding each other up left, right and centre. I loved it. It was a great sense of humour. Love Sean Connery anyway. I love the suspense during the tank and the horses scene. The suspense of Indy getting like blown up or crushed. It just added the adventure part of the whole movie. Plus, I really enjoyed this storyline a lot more. Raiders of the Lost Ark. The movie was good, but the story wasn't as interesting, like as an adventure. Temple of Doom was pretty cool, but yet again, it just I'll name little. Raiders of the Lost Ark reminded me too much of. Well, actually, the first two, Temple and Raiders, reminded me of Scooby-Doo, the first Scooby-Doo live action with Freddie Prinze and Sarah Michelle Gellar. Like, do you know when you got the funny tribesmen all around the big circle thing where all the souls were, and Scrappy has the little triangle? If you haven't seen it, it reminded me a bit of that. So it's kind of weird watching it, but I do love these movies. I have loved all three of them now. But this had a very unique feel to it. I love the story of the whole 700-year-old knight, one of the brothers who survived, the three brothers, the Holy Grail. And I loved how the Holy Grail wasn't one of the shiny jeweled cups. It's like Indiana kind of realised that back then they wouldn't have had a chalice like that. It wouldn't have looked like that. It would have looked like just something that had been like homemade out of like a clay or kind of pottery tool. I love how they added that kind of realism to the story. It just felt amazing. But the sense of humour, the story, the anxiety of the adventure just made me enjoy this movie a lot more than the other two. So by far, The Last Crusade is my favourite movie. I do love a lot about it. I kind of like how the female villain is so in love with Indy that even though she's trying to help them do bad, she can't help but have a feeling. I'll tell you one thing though, like, this is, sorry, I keep knocking my camera. I apologise about all the shaking. I've got my tripod like really close up to me. So I can't see properly at the moment. I'm sorry, my eyes are so blurry. I can't see anything properly. But I love the fact that he gets caught by Hitler with the book, and you're like, oh shit. shit. And then like Adolf just signs it instead. It's like, oh, okay. And I love the whole, my friend can speak so many different languages. He's got friends all across the world. He can just blend in. He's probably already halfway to getting the chalice by now. And then it cuts to the guy, I think his name's Marcus, and he's walking through the streets of Egypt going, does anyone here speak English? Because it's so bullshit. There's a lot about this movie. Tell you one thing. One issue I had with it. I don't have an issue with flies or bugs. I don't have phobias of bugs or, well, apart from silverfish. I'm not going to show an image of silverfish because it means I have to research that to put in this video. So no. Other than silverfish, I don't have a fear of bugs or anything like that. But I have got a freaking phobia of rats. Rats and pigeons. I am absolutely shit terrified. And there's hundreds of the fucking things. Oh, they're all in her hair and ugh. Do you know what? I don't care how rare the chalice was. Eternal life and youth. But in order to get it, you have to go through a tunnel of rats. I'm good. It means I'd have to go back through them after I've drank the fucking thing. I know they weren't in the... Okay, before I get corrected, I know the rats were not in the tunnel that led to the chalice. I know that. I'm just saying, as an example, like... Because I know there's someone out there going, like, actually, the rats weren't in that. I know. But I loved how the traps were set before you could even get... I loved the invisible bridge. That was incredible. Amazing. And I like how Indy and his father were like both kind of linked psychologically to the same way of testing the traps. It was amazing. It was brilliant. So it's so far my favourite. So yeah, I'm going to rate this one an A+ because it's definitely rewatchable. It's definitely enjoyable. And it's by far the one with the best transfer. Like, you notice some slight bits of grain in the first two, like not much, but you notice some bits. Now, I know that I'm going to get this comment again, so I was going to say it before anyone does comment. I know that movies are supposed to have the grain, and I know that sometimes that's how they look good, with that grain. It gives them their original feel. But if you're going to buy a Blu-ray or a HD kind of related movie, you want a clear crystal image. That's the whole reason you own a HD player or a HD TV or a HD projector, is you want clear-cut imagery. If the video has a ton of grain, that's not clear image. That's a sandy image. You don't want sandy images. So for me, in order to get the best HD experience, it's got to be not no grain, but at least the least as possible, just so you can see a bit more of the image. And The Last Crusade had that for me compared to the first two. There was practically hardly any grain. I like how Indy got his hat, by the way. It was awesome. The guy just like gave it to him. That was brilliant. So as you can tell, I really actually enjoyed this movie. There's one more movie left to go, and it's unfortunately everyone hates the idea of it. I've not seen it yet. I'm watching it tonight. I'm actually watching it after this video. So expect a video tomorrow night. Or let me know. Should I talk about it in the stream? I may be joined by a surprised, long-awaited guest tomorrow. It's not the obvious people you'd think. It's someone who you completely wouldn't think of joining, but there's no actual confirmation yet. Just because we haven't discussed it properly. We've had many conversations, but haven't discussed it officially yet. But let me know if you want me to talk about Kingdom of the Crystal Skull in the live stream tomorrow night instead of in a separate video. Or would you just prefer a separate video after the live stream to be uploaded? But anyway, I hope you did enjoy this. There's not going to be any images. There's not going to be any like fancy things. There will be the usual A+ on the poster, that's it, but there won't be like images of the characters or the scenes I'm talking about. Just because I don't need to do all that, because you guys have seen everything. This is just my opinions on these movies, and that's what I like to do. So, anyway, that is the end of this video. If you enjoyed this video and previous videos, don't forget to strike the like for future videos. And if you're new to this channel and only seen a couple of my videos, click that subscribe button. Show your support. I'd surely appreciate it. Anyway, take care, you wonderful people. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.